everybody, this is Michael Shannon with my good friend Hunter Akers here, our real estate expert. We are going to go over a couple of millennial home buying tips today. We've got 7 for you guys, and they're all going to be introductions for millennials specifically to how to break into the housing market, maybe buy your first home. Maybe you're just curious and you need to know some information about the process. So I'm going to be speaking on the lending side. I work at Willow Bend Mortgage in Texas. And I'm licensed in both Texas and Tennessee. He is licensed to do real estate in the state of Texas as well. So some things we may have will be Texas or state specific, but there's always going to be good general national home buying tips for you guys. So to get started, we're going to start with counting the costs. What is the first step in buying the home is figuring out the financial situation behind it. And so your lender can help you get a better grasp on the financial picture. Do you qualify? How much do you qualify for? Those are a lot of things that people, that's where you need to start. You need to start with how much can you buy and what's that going to look like in your financial picture. Your mortgage lender will be able to help you with that. That is not something you have to find out on your own. According to the National Association of Realtors, the median price of an existing single-family home in the U.S. is around $230,000. And a conventional loan is rumored to require you to put 20% down. That is not true. It has actually moved down to 3% for conventional loans, and for FHA loans, it's 3.5%. So this sort of ancient idea your parents might tell you have to put 20% down is untrue. And there are a lot of ways with minimal down payments to get a house closed. And especially when you're just out of college, you're young and you're just starting out, you don't have $40,000, $50,000 to put 20% down. Don't let that hold you up. That's a silly thing to hold you up. You don't need that much. And the truth of the matter is there are ways that lenders and realtors can help you by giving you a lender credit, giving you a seller credit, finding you a builder that'll help you with closing costs. There's many options to come up with cash to close. So do not let this 20% down myth impact you at all. Keep in mind, to help with closing costs, a parent or family member can also gift the funds to close to you. So if you just got a new job out of college and you need help closing with just the down payment, but you make enough to qualify on buying power, with your new salary, you use those college transcripts as work history, and your parents can help you close, you're done. You can close, you can make your monthly payment. It's better than renting and you can afford it. You just didn't think you could. So keep in mind that mom and dad can help you get that down payment, get that cash to close, as well as your lender and your realtor.
Yeah. And I guess so the next step to talk about after that would be mentality. A lot of what people hold millennials, a lot of what holds millennials back nowadays is just thinking they can't get a home. I erase that from your mentality immediately. Whoever's telling you can't get a home is wrong, okay? The longer you wait...
They probably have gray hair.
Yeah, they probably have a little bit of some gray hair. That's very correct. The longer you wait, the more you're messing up, okay? And that's just a factual statement. Interest rates will rise. You can't determine what the market is going to turn to, and also property in general, just the value will rise in general as time goes on. So now is always better than later. Not to mention we are experiencing a shift in the market, so we're becoming more of a buyer's market, which is perfect for millennials.
Exactly right.
There's never a better opportunity to buy than right now what the market is shifting into. Okay, like he was saying, get mom, get dad to help out if you need on savings. Talk to your mortgage lender. These guys are so more than happy to talk to you. It's not even funny. They're out there looking for you guys. Okay, and it takes like 5 minutes. It's really easy. But get the idea, the negativity out of your head right now. That's a huge concern with what's going on. It's just from a belief standpoint, a lot of millennials don't think they can even get in the game, and that is a lie. That is not true. So reevaluate where you're at from a mental standpoint. Understand that you can buy a home, and that's very possible, and just kind of that'll help you just start the process in general of moving forward.
And so, within, deciding, let's say you want to look into it, let's say, okay, I like what you guys are saying. How do I start? Where do I begin? Well, it's really easy. Start your research. Just like looking at this video, you're in the right mindset. You're trying to figure out the proper information. Do I really need 20% down? Is mortgage insurance the worst thing ever invented by man, as also gray-haired people will tell you? No, and quite often it's something that you can have a small monthly payment for. It doesn't even affect your closing costs whatsoever, and based on your loan package could be less than $100 a month. Again, these myths, these reasons to say no, get them out of your mind. Let's get to yes. So research. Now is when you need to do your research. Who are you going to use? Well, I would look for a local realtor and someone that you trust. Maybe a friend knows them. Maybe you saw them online. Who knows? Find somebody you want to work with and have them start doing the research for you. Okay, so tell me a little bit about what you have. What are your options? What would you like to buy? Maybe your house is right in your reach and you have no idea. Maybe you qualify for double the house that you really want right now. You don't know until you ask. So start by getting those people in your back pocket. Hunter would love for someone to call him right now and say, hey, I'm interested in buying a house. Can you just tell me more? I'm happy to take a phone call for somebody that's just saying, hey, I don't even know if I can qualify. I just got out of college. Just tell me more. We want those phone calls. We want to do that. That's why we're doing these videos, because it's all about research and information. You can't buy a home if you don't even know how to start. And so that's the key, is start getting those people in your corner, start finding a local lender or local real estate agent that you'd like to work with, because eventually they'll get you to how you can do it and then how to execute it, and they'll help you through the entire process of actually executing that game plan.
Absolutely. And that's good. I actually want to build off that, and I like to consider it being considered as examining your finances. How many times have you gone to the grocery store and you get everything you think you can get, and then we get up to the cashier and she's like, all right, you got to put it all back. It's embarrassing, right? You don't want that, right? So to prevent that, get it squared away now. Get to a lender. I know a lot of you think we stay in the negative, right? We think, well, it doesn't matter. I won't be able to get what I want anyways. I'm telling you right now, there's multiple people out there paying what they would pay for rent in an apartment and could easily pay the same thing in a house. And what they didn't do is examine their finances. Find out, talk to their lender, see what they can afford. They'll put you on an app. They'll literally put you on an app where you say what you want to pay monthly, and it'll determine what range you'll be in, okay? And all you got to do is just take a second, take 5 to 10 minutes, find you a good lender, or go over things with yourself and examine your finances. See where you're at from a month-to-month basis. See what you can put down. You don't have to put the standard 20 cent like we're talking about. Just see what you can put down. See what skin you can get in the game. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some of us, we like I said, we stay in the negative, so we'll assume that we can't. So
I'm not even going to talk to Mike. I'm not even going to apply. Right. Because I know I can't. Well, you didn't talk to a lender expert, so you don't know. You just made that up. There's no way, unless we see your loan package, that we can coach you, that we can tell you you can or can't, and why. So it could be something that 6 months down the road you could have already fixed. You could have already been pre-approved, and then known I've got to raise my credit score 20 points. I'm going to do this and this because Mike told me once I do that I'll raise 20 points. Mm-hmm. And now I qualify, instead of starting 6 months later and you can't do it because you didn't have the coaching 6 months before you were ready. Home buying is a process that starts months before you're ready to make an offer. Absolutely.
And I also want to touch on, you don't want to waste your time. Okay, so going into the situation blind, not speaking to a lender, not examining your finances, you're basically, what you're going to do is you're not going to know what you can search for. So say you do fall in love with a home. How heartbreaking would it be to spend all that time, take that whole process of where you're getting to put an offer on, and you guys start getting to the real paperwork of things, and then you come to find out you can't even afford it. That's a big punch in the stomach, and that's something you don't want to get in. That's something you want to avoid. Yep. And it's really easy to avoid that. It's not scary at all.
Easiest thing in the world.
Easiest thing in the world. They even want to talk to you guys.
Talk to the experts. Waste my time.
They waste it.
We're fine.
So it's great.
We want to coach you and get you in a home. But, and you're gonna stop renting eventually. Are you gonna be 40 and have made money on all your houses that you've bought in that time, or are you gonna buy your first house when you're 40? Sometime between now and then, you're gonna buy a house. So the sooner you get in the game, the sooner you know how to get in the game, the better.
And Mike, if it's okay with you, I want to touch on how important it can be getting into it earlier as opposed to later.
Let's do it. Absolutely. What's the cost of waiting? Let's go through that.
Well, the cost of waiting, that just depends on what area you're in, your finance rates, kind of like what home you're going to get into. But just from a fundamental standpoint, when you are renting, you literally are paying money that goes and evaporates. It goes nowhere. When you pay a mortgage off, what you are doing is you are paying on something that now turns into what's yours. Okay? You don't own the apartment that you're renting.
You could light it on fire. It'd be the same thing.
It would be the same thing. When you pay a mortgage, it can be the same amount as you're paying into rent, and you then own that home, which you can turn into an asset and make money off of.
That's right.
It then becomes an investment.
That's right.
So now are you not living, you are living in a situation where you're paying the same amount as rent, but you are then going to make money off the situation you are paying for. How wonderful is that, Mike?
Hey, I'm the lender. I'm the numbers guy. This is the realtor telling you. So I'm just saying, I already knew all that. I'm in. I'd love to do more mortgage for everybody, but he's the one saying it as the realtor. So he's exactly right, and that is 100% true. You need to jump on this now, because the longer you wait, that appreciation that on your house is now someone else's house. And now when you go to buy that house 6 months later, 12 months later, a year later, it's more expensive.
From a factual standpoint, the longer millennials wait, the more money you will lose from a factual standpoint.
Yep.